Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lost on the Way. And I finally remembered the name of what this sideways expression, the name of the guy that it reminds me of, and it's Scar. Looking a little bit like Scar here, aren't I? But that wasn't intentional. I just felt like being a Grinch. Got a cartographer behind me saying hi. Don't know what I'm going to do in today's episode. I have a wonderful little area over here I need to finish. It's an enchanting area. I'll show you guys how it come out so far, but we got to get a couple more shelves. You can see we've got a total of 6 more that we need. And I got a spyglass. That's what's in my hand right now, which is kind of fun. Let's go check on our iron golems and see how they're doing. And I don't remember what I was last up to when I was playing here. Honestly, it's all blank to me. I haven't been here in over a week, I don't think. So I don't really know what else I'm going to do today. There's just some things I wanted to talk about, but I don't know what I'm going to do while I'm talking to you about them. That's the problem. I usually like to have some kind of activity that we're involved in. And I don't have any ideas off the top of my head, and I don't remember the ideas that I set aside, so. Nope. Good. Everybody's meeting, everybody's happy. Where is the third one? Looks like he maybe took, nope, they're all good. No damage. Okay. Village is actually doing well. This is one of the best villages that I have in any of my Minecraft worlds. It's the most active. It was the best starting out. It had the best selection of job sites and everything. It was just good all the way around. Alright, so what do we want to do this episode? We've got some nether, but I don't really want to go there. I need to get leather for the cows, from the cows. For the books. Oh, let's harvest this sugar cane. We can start with that. And I'll start talking at you guys. So, I have come to learn and understand a few things about myself, and I'm going to share them. Disclaimer, none of the videos that I do in the Lost in the Way series should be considered child-friendly or aimed at children. There may be swear words ahead. Parental guidance is advised. I generally try to keep it clean just to be nice for everybody. But I want to make sure that that is noted. This is my personal world, and this is where I share things and express myself. And I reserve the right to have freedom of expression in this format in YouTube, as long as YouTube allows me to have it, and then I'll go somewhere else if they don't. And yeah, I'm not gonna have people tell me I can't swear because kids might see it. And I'm getting kind of tired of the whole, hey, let's protect children, as if they need our protection. And I know that seems kind of counterintuitive, but we get overprotective is what I mean to say. Children are supposed to ride bicycles, fall off, scrape their knees, cry to mommy, and come back and learn how to ride the bike from there. That's how it's supposed to be. But we live in a society now that would have every child wearing a full suit of armor before they go out and learn how to ride a bike. And that's just ridiculous. It's not how I learned, or anybody in my generation. And it's not how things are supposed to be. And we were getting soft in my generation. It was even harder further back. I mean, imagine being a kid back in the old West days. So what we're talking about today is I have learned some stuff about myself. And one of the things I have learned is that I have been, for the last couple of decades, I guess now, I have been on a quest to fix myself. And what is the natural assumption? Well, of course, we don't think about that. But what is the natural assumption when you set out to fix yourself? And you set out thinking that, you have flaws or you're broken in some way or whatever. Well, the natural assumption is that you are somehow flawed, that you are somehow not good enough. That's at the root of all of this. If I was going to give it a phrase, I would call it not enough-itis. Let's get these doggies out of here. They're getting in my way. Come here, puppies. Let you guys sit here. Oh, wow, I got 4 of you? I didn't know I had 4 of you following me around. I was thinking about this, and if I were to call it or think of it as a disease, I would call it not enough-itis. And not enough-itis is hereditary. It passes through families, and it's highly contagious. And you mostly get it when you're a kid. And it comes from any adult in your life, any authority figure in your life, that you come across, you have an experience, they say something, and as a kid, interpret it completely different probably than what they meant. Although in some cases, I'm sure the interpretation and what the adult has said are the same, but because you're a child, you have a child's understanding. So what do I mean about that? Well, I don't really have any good examples, and I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever, but let's assume you turn in a test, you've worked really hard on it, and you're proud of it. You think you've done a really good job with it? Or maybe even better, let's use an art design, okay? So you've drawn something. I imagine when you're a kid, I don't remember this, but they tell me what books I've read. When you're a kid, you really spend a lot of time trying to get the details right. So you're sitting there trying to draw this thing, and you're very proud of what you've drawn, and you show it to an adult that you look up to, or somebody that's an authority figure like a teacher, or your parents, and your mom or your dad or your teacher or whoever looks at it and says, you got this part wrong, or you didn't do that right, or my head's not that big, or something of that nature. Well, you don't take that literally like you have made this one small error in your drawing. To you, in your child's mind, that is a disapproval of your drawing, and that translates as a disapproval of you. You haven't done good enough. It's like a seed, not a root, but a seed. It's a seed that takes root in your mind, and it grows, and it transfers from your conscious mind to your subconscious, which is, I think of as your unconscious. It's a big warehouse, and all that stuff is just beyond the light of your current conscious awareness, guiding or directing, rather, your actions, your behaviors. I mean, you behave the way you do, and you are the way you are because of all that unconscious stuff. All those seeds that were planted in your mind when you were a kid. I don't remember how much leather it takes to do a book. So let's grab some of these guys. I don't want to do a lot of them. Wow. Alright, I don't want to take any more than that. See how much leather that got me. Oh, now I got to remember how to do books because I don't remember. And then I got to remember how to do bookcases because I don't remember. Because like I said, it's been a few weeks. Anyway, so not enough-itis. And I have been especially infected with that. Everything in my life that has driven me to think that I need to fix things that I don't fit in, I don't belong here, maybe I was born the wrong time, maybe I was a mistake, etc., etc. All of that stuff that I'm feeling and believing about myself all stems from this idea or this belief or this something that's a part of my reality. That's what happens with these seeds. They're basically beliefs that become a part of your reality. Something in there has convinced me that I'm not enough, and so I'm trying to fix myself. Well, if you're trying to fix yourself, you're going to continue to perpetuate that you have problems. You're going to continue to have problems. You're always going to be in a never-ending quest to fix something. You have to stop fixing to be able to stop fixing. If that makes any sense at all, let me know in the comments below if it does. That just looks weird up close. Now, what am I doing? I'm going over here to the crafting table, and I'm seeing if I can remember how to do books. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make, and what I learned, is that I have to stop continually looking at myself and seeing myself as coming up short in some way or another. Essentially, I have to look at myself that I am perfect exactly as I am. Now, you may not agree with that statement. You might say, well, you got all these character flaws and all this other stuff and all these other things. And if you knew me, you could point out all these things about me that aren't in your estimation of reality of what is right, wrong, bad, good, etc., that you would say I need to fix or whatever. But it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's a self-perception thing. I have to see the work as not even necessary is being done. I have to see myself as perfect in order to stop attempting to fix myself continuously. If I don't see myself as perfect, if I see myself as broken or lacking or whatever, then I'm going to be continually trying to fix myself, and that'll never end. And that keeps me stuck in the rut that I've been trying to get out of for the last couple of decades, and I can't do that to myself anymore. The way I'm seeing it right now is there are just simply adjustments that I need to make. There are little tweaks, little adjustments. It's like a radio. You know, you tune in to whatever station you want to listen to music on. For those of you familiar with how radio works, anyway. Just adjusting the tuning knobs to get that radio station you want crystal clear. Well, I just have to adjust the tuning knobs, and there's a lot of them in my life in different areas, so that I can have the life that I want to have and be the kind of person I want to be. There's just a few adjustments I need to make. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing broken. There's nothing I need to fix. Everything is done. It's already complete. I came into the world perfect. I'll leave the world perfect, whatever I might do in the interim. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me. That's what I'm up to right now. That's one of the realizations that I had, that I just have to stop looking at myself as broken. I have to address this. I have to go to the other extreme. I have to go from thinking I'm not enough to thinking I'm everything I ever need to be and I'm perfect as I am. Because I have to do that in order to balance it out, so I don't swing back over into not enough-itis again. That's the only way to get free of. That's the only cure. And speaking of cures and diseases and such, that's a nice segue into our other subject, which is about COVID, the vaccine, and stuff like that. So I listened to an audiobook tonight. I was helping my dad, and I listened to an audiobook by Gary John Bishop called Sanity. And I learned a couple of things from that, and one of them was that there is a difference between a conspiracy, which has actual facts to support it, and a conspiracy theory, which has no such facts. It's just a theory. And a conspiracy theory, anything like that, is very complex. It has a lot of moving parts, and if you try to attack it with logic, it takes a left turn, as Gary John Bishop, or John Gary, I don't know, which is it, Gary John Bishop or John I don't know. Anyway, it makes twists and turns, it changes. You change your theory to suit because you want to, it's basically a belief that you're holding. And you have made the mistake of making your belief part of your identity. And so you're going to try to defend that because you're defending yourself, or what you perceive to be yourself. It is part of your reality. It's real to you, but it's not a fact. Now let's look for some creepers. I don't want to end up here in this grass with a bunch of creepers on top of me. I don't think I can make it up here to this wall, but I can walk. I don't think I have any kind of way in here. But here, let's make a way in. I can fix it. So here's one of my castle. You can see I've been working on this, my texturing and stuff, lighting. This is a basement area, and you go up. And I don't know if I've showed this in other lofts in the way I might have. I don't remember. This will be basically your first floor, and then there'll be further floors. There's going to be 3 tall towers, one there on the point, and I think another one, right there. Kind of a triangular pattern, but this will be my new home with lots of storage. I'll be having that done here very shortly. I just love how this thing looks here. I love how the texturing is. I just got through texturing the outside and working on the terrain, and I'm very happy with what I'm seeing here. You know, I'm very happy with what I've done. Anyway, so in regards to my beliefs about the vaccine, I have said before that I'm not getting the vaccine. I don't want it. I don't trust the government as far as I can throw it. I don't think the government does anything out of my best interest or the kindness of the heart. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe they're looking out for me at all. I don't trust them, so I don't want to have anything to do with the vaccine. Why am I tying the government with the vaccine? Because it is the government, or it seems to me to be the government, or government agencies anyway, that are trying to enforce us to take the vaccine, or trying to convince us that the vaccine is safe, or that we should have it, or whatever. It seems to be coming from governmental agencies or the government itself or something. I'm not 100% sure that, so even that has to be considered conspiracy theory, not fact, because I don't have any facts. I've done no research. I can't call my personal belief system here anything more than a theory, a conspiracy theory, because I have no research. I have to look at it that way. This is just something I believe. It's not who I am. It's not my identity. My beliefs are not who I am. You know, my beliefs about reality are only create reality for me. They're not necessarily reality for anybody else. They might have their own reality, and they probably do. And I'm just going to embrace that and accept that and not fight against that idea. In other words, there's no point in fighting with family members or friends or whoever about whether or not you should get a vaccine shot or whether or not COVID was started by China or whatever the case might be. You know, you got to recognize that you're dealing with conspiracy theory. Unless you've done the research and you have the actual facts, then you're dealing with conspiracy if there is a conspiracy. As of right now, as far as I know, there is no conspiracy. There are no facts about any kind of, you know, governmental conspiracy or China conspiracy or any other conspiracy regarding COVID or the vaccine. So as of right now, there is no conspiracy. You can't consider there being a conspiracy because there's no facts that have been proven that I'm aware of. If there are facts then of a conspiracy of some sort, then that would be a conspiracy. Does that make any sense at all? So I need to let go basically of that. And I got to understand that my beliefs are not who I am. Yeah, the root of all suffering is the desire that things be other than what they are in this moment. In other words, you are not accepting things as they are. You are not loving and accepting yourself as you are. And if you don't love and accept yourself as you are, then you cannot love and accept anyone else as they are. It is impossible. You cannot give what you do not have. If you do not have love for yourself, you cannot have love for others. It is impossible. You have to have love for yourself first. That's just how it is. Them's the facts. You can rail against it all you want. My point here is to get you to embrace the facts. Things are as they are. And whether or not you agree, they happen that way for a reason. It is any set of circumstances, consequences, etc., conditions you've been born into, beliefs you hold, things about your reality, all that stuff, all put together has created whatever it is that you're experiencing. And the same goes for me and my current experience of life. Now, let's pick on Scar a little bit, but I don't mean in a mean way. But let's use Scar as an example here, briefly. Let's look for some baddies while we're doing it, because I'm about ready to wrap up here. But Scar, if you don't know, is a Minecraft player who is currently wheelchair bound. I think he considers or he labels himself as disabled. He says he's a disabled YouTuber. I want to make sure I'm using the right word that he identifies with. And he does his Minecraft videos, but he's very warm-hearted seeming, at least in the videos for the most part, fun-loving character. And he's fun to watch because of that. Now, imagine how Scar would be if he was bitter and angry and cursing the fact that he's in a wheelchair and looking in the mirror and saying, that's not my body. My body is 100% healthy and I'm out walking around. I've got a six-pack abs and I can pick up a car. And I look like Dolph Lundgren on his good day when he was actually handsome or something of that. I'm just being ridiculous now, but Just imagine if Scar was doing that, if that was his mindset and mentality. He was unhappy with his situation in life. He looked at it as unfair. And to be honest, we could label that situation, being bound in a wheelchair, having health issues, as being unfair. But imagine if he was going around thinking it was unfair, thinking the universe was against him, hating his life, hating the world, hating his wheelchair, hating that he had to be in a wheelchair. Imagine if that was his attitude. Now imagine somebody like that making YouTube videos. How big of an audience do you think he'd have? Now, it might be kind of fun at first to listen to this YouTuber cussing and swearing every time they die, and then going off on a rant about, man, I can't believe I died. My life already sucks, and this just makes it worse. I mean, that might be fun at first. But eventually, you're not going to want to watch anymore, right? That's just not what you're going to want to watch. The reason why Scar is so entertaining and so fun to watch is because you don't know until I told you, unless you've already done your research and you already knew about it, or unless you're a big fan, you know about it. But otherwise, you don't know that Scar's sitting in a wheelchair and he's hooked to an oxygen tank and he has health issues. You don't know that unless you look through his videos and you find a video of him in the chair with the little breather apparatus on his nose. You don't know that. You never get that impression. It never comes across in his videos. He never mentions it in any sort of a negative way, or even, I don't think he even really mentions it much at all in his videos. Although he might do actual vlogs that do, but what I mean by his Minecraft videos, Hermitcraft, stuff like that he does, I've never run across him talking about it. And even if he does talk about it occasionally, he doesn't talk about it a huge amount. So, just to bring that point home, that's the difference. Scar has every right to be upset about his lot in life, his circumstances, and to complain about them, but he doesn't. And the reason why you're so entertained by him and you enjoy his videos is because he doesn't. More than likely, he has embraced his reality, the situation as it stands for him in this moment. And that makes him not only a very fun person to watch and enjoy and appreciate on YouTube, it also makes him an example for the rest of us and someone to admire. I wonder if I should put a fence up somewhere over here for him so they can come here to see this scenery but not get killed. Let's get a fence and put that in there. I think I have a stone fence, and that'd be a perfect place for it. In case anybody comes over here and investigates, because they're getting kind of wild over here. So I just say all of this because I want to help you guys take responsibility for the life experience that you currently have. I think that's important. And I want you to realize that your beliefs about reality are not themselves reality. They're your reality, but they're not anything more than that. I think that ought to work. All right, with that, I think we're going to wrap up this episode of Lost on the Way, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't know when it will be, and I don't know when this will come out. Eventually, I'll be transitioning this world to the 118 format, deleting the parts I have not explored and having it rebuilt and optimized for 118. But I am noticing some very bad lag on my computer, which is older, with the 118 version, and now even with 117. And I don't know if that means my computer is dying on me or what's going on. I have created an Amazon wish list. I haven't put a computer on it yet, but I probably should put some computer parts on there, because eventually I'm going to probably have to build a new computer. Mine's almost a decade old, and I don't think it's going to hold up much longer, so I may not be able to keep doing videos. Some of you might be perfectly fine with me not continuing to do videos. You probably don't like what I've said tonight, and you know what? I get it, I understand, and I'm not going to argue with you over your opinion or your stance. I'm going to simply accept whatever it is that you feel, whatever it is you believe, and I'm not going to, even though I have stated some things that might challenge something that you believe, I'm not, how do I put it? I'm not trying to make you change or be anything other. My quest is always to make you question. If I can make you question your beliefs, if I do nothing else in my life but cause people to question and actually think about what they believe and make a conscious connection to what they believe and consciously are aware of whatever it is. If I can do that, if I can cause you to question, I can boot you out of putting it in autopilot and get you into your driver's seat of your car just for a few moments, grabbing that steering wheel and taking control, taking responsibility and with full awareness. If I can do that, then I've accomplished something of great value, and that actually makes my life, being here, actually have value. It actually means something, you know? I don't have much other ways that I can contribute, but if I can challenge something for somebody and cause them to question and then step back and give them the space that they need to question and figure out if that's really what they want to continue to believe, I've done something good and I'm going to want to keep doing that. And I do it for myself too. I believed for a long, long time that I needed to fix things, that I didn't belong, that maybe I was born in the wrong time, or I shouldn't have been born at all, or I was a mistake, or I didn't fit in, or I wasn't a normal human, or I've had a whole variety of these different beliefs, but they all stem from the same thing. And I can't even put my finger on what experiences in childhood might have caused them, but they all stem from me feeling that I'm just not good enough. I'm not enough in some way or another. You know, just the general idea of I am not enough seems to be a reoccurring theme in various forms in my life. So I can speak from experience. I can look in the mirror too and say, hey, I don't like this fat, overweight, middle aged body that's there. I want to be a 20-year-old guy who's just as tall as I currently am, but only weighs 200 pounds, all of it muscle with an 8-pack abs. And, you know, I could wish that that was the body that I had and look in the mirror and deny the body I currently have and say, this is not my body. It's not the right body. I could look at it that way. That's a very disempowering viewpoint. That takes away any power that I would have to change myself or to fix things. I can't change my age, at least not this time. As far as I know, there's no way to do that. I've been around the sun 45 times, about to be 46, and that's just something I can't change. I can change my body, believe it or not. I can lose weight. I can exercise. I can do yoga. I can do Tai Chi. I can barefoot run. Whatever kind of exercises I used to use body weight exercise. I can do these kind of things and I can lose some of this weight. I could diet. I could somehow get out of this lack limitation life that I've been living and bring in some serious cash and hire a physical trainer who's going to kick me out of bed every morning and make sure that I drop the weight. And I could have the kind of body that I want to look like. I may not have, may not be able to undo the age-related wear and tear or the actual times around the sun, but I can't change any of the hair unless the white hair, unless I use some kind of dye, but I can at least look better if I want to. And I'd rather have that stance that, this is how I am right now in this moment, embrace that, accept that. And if I want to change, well, that's on me to do it. That's my responsibility and that's my thing to do. If I want to change, that's up to me and I can do it. That's a more empowering viewpoint, and I'm always going to want to inspire people to take the more empowering viewpoint. I always want you to do that. That's the whole purpose of everything that I've ever said or told anybody. I want to take a more empowering viewpoint, and I want you to as well. Hopefully, you can understand that. But if you're mad at me, I'm going to give you a big old virtual hug anyway, and you can be mad at me as long as you want to be mad at me. I hope that eventually you'll let go of those feelings of anger and move into a more empowering way of feeling, and start taking your life as it is in this moment, the body you have as it is in this moment. As long as you're making a conscious choice on it, and you've accepted yourself as you are in this moment, and you've chosen to change yourself to whatever design you want, because as Gary John Bishop stated, this is the last little statement that I'll share with you from him, from his audiobook Sanity. I think it might also be a regular book, but at least it's an audiobook as far as I know. But the future, your future, any kind of a future you might have is not going to show up. You are currently living, unless you have taken the reins of your life and are in full control and are building the future you want, you are living your default future. Your default future is the life you're living right now. My default future is the life I'm living right now. I'm experiencing what that is. And that's not good enough for me. I don't know about you. If you want a better future, you got to build it and you got to create it. It's up to you. So that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Build the future you want, create the future you want, and make sure you're doing it consciously. Make sure you're embracing things as they are right now. Make sure you're embracing yourself as you are right now. Don't set out to try to change things when you haven't first accepted things as they are right now and accepted yourself as you are, because you're going to be moving from a position of weakness. You're going to be building on sand, as they say in the Bible, and that's just going to get washed away the next time there's a flood. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you later.